Okay, hello and welcome to Plugin Along, a stream dedicated to LOTRO plugins. Last time on Plugin Along, we paused work on new features, or new code for TitanBar, in order to hunt down and fix each known bug that I've created so far in this madness. And today we're going to start with another bug that I found in the meantime, between last week and this week. When I spend or gain currencies, TitanBar isn't seeing that change. So let's go spend or earn stuff until I figure out what's going on and how to fix it. As always, feel free to jump into chat with your thoughts and questions, and away we go. So we are here in the Hornburg, but there's not a lot of places to spend or earn currencies here. So I'm going to go ahead and travel on to Bree, probably Lalia's Market, to start there, because I have a fair number of currencies that can be spent at Lalia's Market, or just outside. Okay, so the first thing we should do actually is to demonstrate whether or not this is a problem with the version of TitanBar that exists on LOTRO interface. Is this a problem that I've introduced, or is this a problem that already existed and I just didn't notice it? So the problem is TitanBar will show you currencies. Let's go ahead and pull this up actually. So as we can go to the 3-bore fountain. There we go. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and load TitanBar. And in TitanBar, you know what? I do not have the testing that I want to see, the testing files I want to see. Let me go ahead and, let's see, TitanBar currencies work. Yeah, we're going to start with that. So I'm actually going to unload this and bring back the default stuff. Okay, so we're going to come on in and we're going to add motes of enchantment. We're going to add figments of splendor. Whoopsie. Interesting. I thought I fixed that. Well, it's a motes of enchantment specific problem. Let's see. Okay. We'll come back to that. And in Embers of Enchantment. We're going to put that on here as well. Awesome. And we're going to unload this so I can save these save files so I can easily restore them. So this is the 21st. TitanBar currency change handler work. Okay. Off the screen here in a different window, I am just going to go ahead and save those so I can easily restore to just this point. Okay, so the thing that I'm concerned with is these values here. When I noticed when I was purchasing something from Myrtle Mint here that the values did not update. And one of the whole points of a TitanBar is that we can see these values update. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by winding back through time before I started doing all these changes. Oh, looks like I had a code change that hasn't been committed yet. This is, oh, I see. I moved looking at table's label entry after the check to see if the table actually exists. That seems fine. Don't look at label entry of table until we check for no. Cool. And to do file updates. And this is the when buying 1,000 figments of splendor for 1,000 motes of enchantment, TitanBar didn't update the values. But it saw the correct ones after we reloaded. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and wind back through time and see how these were before. And to do that, we're going to use source control, and we're going to look back. Actually, we can... Did I not tag it? Ooh, I might not have tagged it. Cool. Let's go ahead and add a tag. 1.35.30. I want to go ahead and push out tags. And now I can easily find that spot here. We're going to go ahead and update. So now this is as it was April 23rd. I had just updated it to what was on LOTRO interface, 135.30. Okay, so if I load TitanBar, everything is still fine. Save file still works just fine. If I unload and then reload, we don't expect to have any problems loading or unloading because we haven't been changing the file system yet. Okay, so these are the values. So we want to go ahead and browse items at Myrtle Mint. And the easiest thing to do was to go ahead and spend 1,000 Figments of Splendor, 1,000 Motes of Enchantment to get 1,000 Figments of Splendor. Let's do that now. And we can see both of those values updated. The Motes of Enchantment went down, the Figments of Splendor went up. Awesome. I did not see that in the current system. And so I don't have an endless number of figments here, and we're not in the middle of a festival where I could spend, let's say, Badge of Taste or Dishonor easily, or do currency exchanges. So I want to be careful about figuring out where this happened. Now the first thing we know is that if we come into the code, there is a handler for this. If we go to Figment of Splendor and just do a search for that, we don't find anything. But if we go into the Figments of Splendor, is that they're going to be a handler here? It might be in where? I have to remember everything. Okay, Figment of Splendor. We're looking for a handler on the wallet. Where is the wallet? I gotta remember this. Well, let's go look at the API documentation for a second. In the gameplay, in the wallet item, there should be a quantity changed. So let's figure out where we're looking at quantity changed. Cool. In 2 places. That should make this pretty easy. And that one's not even being used. So we're looking at the load player wallet. In the load player wallet function, we have a process going through each entry in the wallet, adding a handler, adding a callback, and storing it into player currency handler under the name. So player currency handler, current name, quantity changed. So let's get a sense of what that looks like. So we're going to go ahead and say add callback. Let's go ahead and say adding a callback for quantity changed. And we'll actually do it like this. Cur name quantity changed. Awesome. I just want to see what that looks like as we load up. Maybe we can solve this without spending anything at all. That'd be nice. Okay, so we load up TitanBar, and what we expect to see is adding for each localized version of that name, adding callback for Silver Token of the Wilds, Mark of Aguar Victory, Golden Token of the Wilds. I have so many things in my wallet. But yes, we're adding a callback. Now, this is a funny thing. We are adding this for everything in the wallet, despite the fact that TitanBar doesn't actually care about most of these things. Why? Why are we doing that? We call update currency with currency name, and in here, we check for the ones that we care about. And if it's one that we care about, then we call the function update, which goes and gets the currency by iterating through every item in the wallet and getting the currency off of that. That's frustrating. Why would we do that? I got a thing saying OBS is no longer streaming. Well, that's disappointing. Well, that's exciting. Just a moment. Use your phone and put something in chat. Well, that is exciting. I seem to be disconnected from Twitch. And I seem to be having network issues. But as long as I'm still able to be on LOTRO, I guess I will keep going here. And then, apologies to anyone who was watching live on Twitch, but we'll also have this uploaded on YouTube later. It's very strange. I'm actually getting issues just pinging out to things, which is fine, I suppose. I'm just impressed that I'm still connected to LOTRO. Maybe I won't be. Maybe I'll be disconnected shortly. But as long as I am, we're going to keep on going. So, I want to see how this works against the current batch of code. So we're going to go ahead and unload TitanBar. We're going to come on in to our source control, which will let us bring us back up to where we currently are, and reload this. And ideally, we're still going to see that change here. And what I'm guessing is kername is not actually the localized version, but just the inner key version, and so none of it works. Nope. Interesting. Okay, well, we still see the same stuff. So let's dig into that a little bit then. So this is functions control, line 688 or so. Okay. Now, I reformatted how this was, but I think this is basically how, unchanged. So we're adding a callback. Let's go ahead and really just copy this off here. Okay, so I've copied off the code there. What we want to do is step back in time. Oh, that's funny. It was able to bring it forward, but not back. That's okay.
Yeah, this is red. The internet thing is red.
Okay.
Do you want to run a line real quick?
Nope. I already have a line. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and, now that we've eliminated that change, step backwards in time. And go ahead and, oh, that's funny. Did I do something weird? Uncertain. That's okay. Nope. We're going to go ahead and take this piece of code and bring it back in manually. And that's okay. So, we've got our line back here, but what I wanted to do was kind of compare these side by side. So, currency equals that, cool. If player handler currency name equals nil, okay. Adding callback, cool. Player currency cur name equals add callback. That's a little bit under my head. Player currency cur name, we're doing it for quantity change. Functions under args. If, oh, that's, why did I do that? Why would I care about that key? I think that would definitely be a problem, though. If show key, then update currency. Oh, of course. So this update currency is actually also the new version. Why on earth would we care if it's being shown? I think that's the big thing. This function was checking if we were showing things. And if not, if we were showing it, then coming on here. But this function already was checking the where. Okay, so this was already checking to see if where equals 1, then we'll set the text, set the size, adjust icon. Updating, in this sense, is about setting the text of the label using the value of MSP in this case. Well, getting the currency out of the wallet. Okay, I think I want more information about what's currently going on. So we're going to go ahead and step forward in time back to the most recent. And in this most recent, we have our functions, and this is on line 688. So let's come into functions control 688. Okay, so what we want to do is adding callback for quantity changed, and we're going to go ahead and call out that this is for key, and I want to make sure that key looks correct as well. All right, attempt to concatenate local key and nil value. That certainly is a problem. Well, let's go ahead and dump that so we can see this progress. Oh, of course, all those things that we're not actually trying to track should show up as nil. Okay. If and key is not nil, let's see what that looks like. Let's come on back down here. None. Okay, let's see what the currency named key is giving us. This is currency named key. And we're going to go ahead and pass that to dump so that we can get the contents of that table. Currency named key is broken. Okay. Now, I want to see both the key and the value. Key, value. What did I do wrong here? Okay, so the value, we're definitely looking at that internal key, which is in itself a problem. Let's actually call that index, and this is key. Okay, so just going to reload it again so we have the correct names here. So the index, no. Why is that suddenly working? Hang on. Why is that work? No. What? I don't trust that. What did I do? What did I do? Key for index and key, the right line doesn't matter. Huh. Well, I did have a typo. That would certainly do it. Surely not. Has it been that way the whole time? Hang on. Let me give it oops. Yeah, let me get a timeline on that. So, what are we looking at here? This is currently 423. Okay. 423. Oof, okay. Let's go look at that. Oh, hang on. Okay, so this was consolidated update X functions. So in settings, oof, yeah, that would do it. Okay, so, well, what does this mean? Does this mean everything is working now? Let's find out. So let's go ahead and do some bartering here. I can go ahead and, I'm just going to unload and reload. Okay, so I am getting all of those. And actually, the code that we just added, which was a null check on the key, probably means any place where yeah, we probably won't try to add a callback handler for anything we're not expecting to do. Now that could actually be its own problem eventually, but when we start allowing arbitrary currencies to be added, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. Okay, don't worry about that. Okay, so coming on in here, we're just going to go ahead and get some Figments of Splendor. We can see right now we have 7645. We're going into 7800, and it works. Okay, so there's a typo there. I don't know why we weren't informed that we were. Well, actually, hang on. Yeah, if I'd paid attention to these warnings, and unfortunately there's a lot of them I need to clear out here, but Visual Studio Code was trying to tell me that that was a problem. Okay, we're going to go ahead and kill some of these debug statements, and then come back in and see what has changed. Okay, we're going to come on in to our to-do file, and get rid of that known bug. Fixed typo in variable name. And don't sign up for currency handler when we for unexpected unused currencies for now. I gotta say, I think it's really weird that all of my apparent internet connectivity is down except for like LOTRO still works.
Who's our internet provider again?
But good on the team at SSG for allowing me to access LOTRO when I can't actually access like Google.com. Okay, so that was a bug that I was really worried that would be a lot more complicated to fix. I'm glad it was just a variable name typo. It is a reason to eliminate all the warnings so that you can actually pay attention to the ones that really matter. The fact that we're seeing 9 warnings in this file means I'm unlikely to actually pay attention to a specific one. And that's just a notice to myself maybe to do better about that. Okay. Well, cool. In that case, maybe we can keep on making progress. Yeah, I can't push stuff because my internet connection is down, except for LOTRO. Okay, well, that's a weird error message. I mean, it's not weird in and of itself, but it is weird, again, that I can buy stuff with Myrtle Mint. Okay, so adding a new currency. The thing that what we are trying to do is to make this process easier, and I've already been deleting stuff as we go. Okay, didn't I delete player align in main? Right, in main. No, okay, this is an actual ordering in the UI. Haven't done that yet. Okay, add currency control file. So, a thing that I was working on before we got into stuff last week was consolidating all the various currency files so that they are more in line with each other. And let's take a look at what that means. So here, instead of having a global AS for ancient script and then referencing a bunch of things here, we had a local for the code that we were doing was AS, the key was ancient script, and then we could just do a generic entry into the global table, and we could also just have a local reference to it as well. and a few things that we needed to specifically call out that were different for this currency. So in this case, that means we get table, instead of calling out specifically AS for ancient script, table, all the way down. And why is that useful? Well, let's go ahead and see if we can apply this change. Great. What's going on with this one? Okay, I think that's redundant. Let's come on in to here. Show in File Explorer, yeah. And we're going to come on and compare two of these. Let's say Emerald Silver Piece in Ancient Script. Now, what we can see is it used to be, and in fact, if we go and stash that, there's a lot of changes between these two files, or a lot of apparent changes. The key that we're using, Emerald Silver Piece versus Ancient Script. The table that we're writing to, ASP instead of AS. There's a lot of changes here, but there doesn't need to be. So if we go ahead and bring this back, this work in progress, we can see if we encode those variables here, the AS for, or ASP, Emerald Silver Piece or Ancient Script, then the rest of this is identical, which means it should be pretty possible to replace it with something generic. And that's the next goal, is to get rid of all of these files. So one thing I want to do, I can't remember if I actually finished this. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a minute and run through each of these. And Emerald Silver Piece is a fine default just to compare to. And we're just going to compare against each other file. So we can see nothing needs to be changed. Awesome. Next up is Badge of Dishonor, Badge of Taste. Awesome. Badge of Taste. Great. We're going to go ahead and go to Bingo Badge. Awesome. And we're on Silver Piece to Central Gondor Silver Piece. Great. Nice. I'm going to move this window over so I don't have to keep on changing my Z order here. Now, I don't actually have to keep going to Emerald Silver Piece. They're all being the same so far, so I can do Central Gondor to Commendations. Okay, so we can see another variable that we need to pay attention to at the start here. We can compare commendations to Destiny points. Great, just that header to Embers of Enchantment. Okay, just the header. Embers of Enchantment to Fall Festival token. Just the header, awesome. Fall Festival to Farmer's Fair token. I'm going to close up some of these tabs here just to make it a little bit more manageable. Alright, Farmer's Fair to Figments of Splendor. I do need to remember to go look at Motes of Enchantment. That's in a different directory. Awesome. Gift Giver's Brand. Hitbolt tokens. Okay. Hitbolt tokens to LOTRO points. That's interesting. Oh, LOTRO points is a bit special. LOTRO points and wallet, I'm willing to let those slide. It looks like we've done a fair amount of the making it similar, but there are some special things going on here. But if we can eliminate everything except the LOTRO points, then that's fine. Okay, medallions to Midsummer tokens. Cool. Midsummer to Mithril. Mithril. Again, we're going to skip money because money is special. And we're going to go straight to seals. And close some of those off. Almost done. Seals to shards. Great. Shards to skirmish marks. Awesome. Skirmish marks to spring leaves. Leaf to Star of Merit. Stars of Merit. Wallet is also special. Well, so we're going to leave that. And the final one is going to be Motes, which should be one directory up because for some reason everything broke when I moved that around. Okay, we can see Motes of Enchantment haven't been done yet. We can go ahead and do that as a as an exercise here. So what we want to do is come on in to modes of enchantment, and we want to do some of the same header as we've been doing in other places. So this is going to be MOE and modes of enchantment. We want to see if there's a current content alignment. Middle right is fine, and icon width and height. Okay, so we want to replace any instances of modes of enchantment with key. Awesome. We then want to replace any uses. Okay, so we want to go ahead and find use of that alignment, and we're going to go ahead and parameterize that.
Should we like unplug it and plug it back in again?
Okay, we're going to use icon width here. Icon height. Awesome. The last thing is, well, not the last thing, but we do want to, any place we're using MOE here, we're going to go ahead and replace it with table. But we do want MOE as a whole word. Oh, should tilt up window MOE. We want that to be code. Okay, so I could have gone ahead and replaced that. Okay, so let's pause and go look at our file comparison and see how much is left.
I know exactly what's unplugged, so
Okay, so what we see is this entry here, this global MOE entry, can still be deleted. Let's go ahead and do that next. And we should, oh, we do see a couple more entries here. Okay, those are the only two left. We're going to go ahead and delete those. We have some comments here that can be made more generic. Instead of control of modes of enchantment, we can say control for this currency. Okay. So currency icon on TitanBar. Okay. Currency icon. Great. Setting the background. Oh, modes of enchantment. Awesome. So anywhere we have dots modes of enchantment, we can go ahead and replace that with key. And we could probably get rid of that comment there. Awesome. Okay. What's going on here? Move MOE control. What is this? Oh, of course. There's going to be a function at the end. So if we instead say table of move control equals an anonymous function, okay. Yes, the function has been assigned, instead of into the global namespace, we've gone ahead and called move control in here. And that means where we were referencing it, which is this move MOE control, there, we can go ahead and replace that here. Awesome. There was a typo here. That actually persisted in a number of places, which is a problem when you have all this copy-paste going into creating all these adjacent currencies, is that at some point someone replaced MC, myth or coin, with the name of the currency because they were just doing a search for MC. It wasn't necessarily case sensitive. It wasn't necessarily word break sensitive. They were just finding all uses of MC and replacing them. And that means instead of from control, you suddenly had this other thing. And this is, wrong. It's an error. But that's okay, because what we want is to just fix that, to put it back, because what we're really saying is we want to know what thing was clicked on to activate the thing. And at that point, our modes of enchantment is back. Now, it does look like in trying to solve some networking issues, I may have been disconnected from the server. So we're going to see if we can get that back. If we can, awesome. If not, then this may be a shorter stream. We're going to go ahead and wait for that to respond. It's fine. Okay, so that's modes of enchantment. So we're going to go ahead and continue. And one of the nice things about doing plugin development is you don't actually need to be online to do a lot of it. Obviously, you need to be online to connect to the game to see how your plugin changes actually work. But if you're doing something like what we just did, that's all offline. So we're going to come into source control here and take a look and see what we've done.
My internet's back, so you might want to hit stop stream and restream.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we might be back online. Apologies to anyone who lost us there for a while. Something went squirrely at our house, and Little Redhead has, in the background, restored connectivity. In the meantime, my Lord of the Rings is being sad. But that's okay. One of the nice things about Lord of the Rings Online is you can just launch another client. Let's do that and get started connecting here. Okay, so what we're going to do is test the changes we just did on the modes of enchantment. For those of you who were here live or are here live on twitch.tv, you can catch that up on the later upload to YouTube. That will be complete. My local recording was not interrupted, I think. I guess we'll find out. So, what I want to do is I want to test these currencies. And for that, we're going to do a kind of an exhaustive test where we add each thing one by one to the bar, show that we can move it around, that we don't get any error messages and whatnot. So what we want to do is restore, nope, don't care about those. We want to go ahead and step away from the bore fountain. And what I want to do is unload TitanBar and go ahead and restore. Yes, thank you. I want to go ahead and restore the save data file. So TitanBar is unloaded. Awesome. What we're going to do is we're going to restore the nothing has been on the bar except for money save file. So deleting what we currently had and reload that to here. Awesome. And then we're going to come back in and reload TitanBar. Okay, so what we want to do for an exhaustive test is pull Plugin Manager above the Z order. It was underneath TitanBar there. So I can grab the title bar and then move it away, and great. Okay, so for each entry on here, I want to put it on the bar and demonstrate that I can move it around. Money doesn't matter so much, but we'll go ahead and start there anyway. Oh, it's on the tooltip. That's fine. Commendation. We're going to go ahead and say on TitanBar. We're going to zoom over it. We're going to move it around. And really, we're just going to move everything over as far to the right. So destiny point, we're going to say on TitanBar. Great. Move it on over. LOTRO points, we're just going to make up a number. So we'll just say 1, 2, 3. And on TitanBar. Great. Mithril coin on TitanBar. And it's just going to be this for the next 2 minutes or so as we put everything on there. Modes of enchantment. Oh, there we go. Okay, there's definitely a modes of enchantment problem. Now, we were actually seeing this before on everything. Modes of enchantment is causing a problem. Let's go take a look at this. And let's see if we can replicate that by reloading the plugin and then coming back in. Modes of enchantment was off when we loaded. Put it back on. Yep, we can replicate it. This is good. If you can replicate it without starting from scratch on that save file, that's nicer. Okay, modes of enchantment don't show. Okay, so let's go take a look. Modes of enchantment is LOTRO freebie for the week, says Moobot, is a free die, rose die with the code Springflower. I wonder if that's bound to account, because I could just get that and give it to Rosenbloom.
I'll find out in a minute.
Let's see. If you are putting stuff in the code in the store, the redeem code button's in the bottom left. Springflower. We can see the coupon's not found. This is because it is case sensitive. So in this case, it's all caps. All right, coupon activated. That inventory. We can see that it's bound to account, purchased from store, consumed on use. Fantastic. Well, I don't actually want it in my inventory, so I'm going to toss it on something in my wardrobe. Rose, boots of the flying silver. Bam, done. I have used rose dye on a bunch of different things. I think everything I'm wearing right now has been dyed with rose. So this is not a character that is short on rose dye. Okay. Modes of enchantment 69. In the function mouse leave, reset tooltip window, attempt to call global a nil value. How much do I care about this? This was a problem that was affecting every single one of the currencies. And by not moving modes of enchantment into that subdirectory, they all started working. And it's just modes of enchantment. And my hope, again, is to delete this file entirely. I'm going to say, let's log it. Current bugs. Modes of enchantment token doesn't work. Mouse over produces error. Looks like G table issues. We're gonna put that there and then step away from Motes of Enchantment and keep going. So, Figments of Splendor, we're going to go ahead and show and move. Embers of Enchantment, on TitanBar, and move, and so on. Ancient Script, and move. Marks, and move. Medallions, seals. It's interesting finding things where I have like 2 of them. It's like, how did I get just 2? I don't understand. Stars of Merit. Anniversary tokens. Oh, I need to get more of those. Fall Festival tokens. Guess I have a little while to prepare. Farmer's Fair tokens. These are in such a random order. It's not really random, it's the order in which they were added. Midsummer token. Spring Leafs. Yule Festival. And we're going to go ahead and move the currency button a little bit. Make room for that. Okay. Last couple here. Badge of Taste. Badge of Dishonor. Shard. Amroth Silver Piece. How do I have 34 of those? No, not that. Amroth. I've got 34 Amroth Silver Pieces. This server does not have access to Gondor. What's going on there? I know I shouldn't get distracted, but... Amroth Silver Pieces. Warbonds in Western Gondor. Questendoll Amroth, Questen Tarling's Crown. The Reddit says maybe something Midsummer related? I mean, if so, the wiki sure doesn't know about it. These are landscape questing rewards. How strange. Okay. Well, knocked it out, but that's weird. Bingo badges. 189. Good. I still need to go back and check all the locations to make sure I've gotten everything off of Rattle Packs. Alright, tokens of... What's funny is we do have 36 gift givers brands, even though roaming threats aren't available on this server, because the treasure chests, the hidden treasure chests in each of things like the North Downs and Angmar and whatnot, those are available, and the deed for collecting those gifts give our brands. And so we've been able to pre-load a couple of those, even though we don't have roving threats on the server until next Wednesday. Okay, so all of these have been loaded on up, and we've confirmed that we can hover over them, move them around. Let's go ahead and reload TitanBar. And we can still see all of these things here. No extra issues here. Cool. So what we're going to go do is unload TitanBar, and in my saves, we're going to go ahead and save this off as, oopsie, 0521, every currency on bar. And we're just going to copy that off so it's easy enough to replicate. Oh, Little Redhead says, use the diamond boots. What sort of hobbit are you? Oh, yes, maybe something Midsummer related. Yes. Oh, I forgot to show off the whimsical mount during my stream. Oh, I guess I could look at that. I haven't actually opened up the whimsical box yet on this character. There's two things that come in the latest coffer. There is a per character, or just a one-time, I should say, a box with luxuriant mithril coffer, which contains mithril coins and virtue XP. And we have the Whimsical Patron's luxuriant cosmetics coffer. And apparently, there's a cat on the couch back there for those people who like spotting cats in the background. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up this Whimsical Patron luxuriant cosmetics coffer. Wow, that's so many things. And that goes on every character. Ceremonial Club of Whimsy. So what I tend to do with packages like this is I will dedicate some room in my wardrobe to hold them. And in this case, I've currently only got 90 spaces, but I think it's easier for my mental well-being. Just go ahead and dedicate some space and then toss it. All right, pack of Whimsy. How whimsical is it? That is pretty whimsical. Oh, that could be a good replacement for the Scholar pack that I've got on my Scholar. Whimsical boots. Whimsical gauntlets. Whimsical cap. Whimsical mantle. Robed tunic and leggings. Such whimsy. Wow, that... oh, okay, there it is. I was going to say I was a little disappointed in the dyeing capabilities, but I just chose a dye that was very similar to the one I already had. Okay, that one's lovely and trashed. And the Whimsical Steed, which is the one that Little Redhead was mentioning. We're going to come on in here. Whimsical, nope, that's the wrong one. Whimsical Steed. Such whimsy. Alright, we've got a loot, we've got some bags, there's a cat in a basket. That's very cute. Flower in basket, what looks like giant carrots in a basket, and the tail has some cool ornamentation. Awesome. Yeah, the cat just hanging out with you is definitely a feature of that. Okay. Fun. We also have a Tome of the Whimsical Woodland Creatures. We saw Little Redhead showing that off. Fun. We have... oh, Ceremonial Staff of Whimsy. Didn't I already do that? Well, maybe not. We also have the Whimsical Milestone Style Emote. And I'm very interested in if that stays on. I assume it does not stay on between logs. Also, where is that? Milestone Whimsy. Ah, yes, and the Whimsical Movement. Well, I appreciate that you can do that while doing other things. It's not an induction bar.
Yeah.
Okay. What else do we have? We have a Whimsical Weapon Aura and a Normal Weapon Aura. Now, a lot of things come with a Normal Weapon Aura just in case you don't have them, but by the time you have like 3 Normal Weapon Auras, you have enough Normal Weapon Auras. There's only space for 3 of them. Now, I actually only have 1 stored. I must have gotten rid of some, so we'll go ahead and keep that one as well, and that is a whimsical weapon aura. We'll keep that. Whizik says, walk the whimsy. Yeah, I like it. Will I like it if I'm just in normal third-person mode? Probably. What happens if I do something like combat-y? Doesn't take me out of it. Nice. And I'm curious about the milestone skill, or effect, I should say. If I just activate this, I get the sky beam and the tree, and I can just activate the sky beam over and over. That is fascinating. I am curious from how far away someone can see that. But it does seem like if you were... Hang on, I gotta go into first person mode. Otherwise I can't look straight up.
Can't see it in first person.
Interesting. Okay, a lot of the effects don't show up in first person mode, it appears. But that sky beam, it's hard to see how far up it goes when you're not in first person mode. Valkyrie says, hello, hello! Welcome to our network connectivity issued stream. Okay, so we have experimented with some of the stuff that came in the new coffer. I'll just put a link there in case anyone's interested in it. And then we have set up a TitanBar save file that lets us make sure that every single one of these currencies that it currently supports can be shown, with the exception of modes of enchantment, which we're comfortable with. We've logged a bug there. So what I want to do is go ahead and commit these changes that we were just kind of testing, unified the control files for all the currencies. So we're going to go ahead and include that bug that we found. And for each one of these, this is all of those changes that I went through while the stream was offline. So we'll just cover it again really briefly. Instead of having a hard-coded table that everything is going into, we go ahead and make a generic one based off of the code for this file, ASP in this case. And we also have the key Amroth Silver piece. And that means with that combined with a couple other variables, we can genericize everything in this file. Instead of ASP, we have that table that we just have a local reference to. Instead of position.left of Amroth Silver piece, we can just use the key, and so on. So we're going to go ahead and commit each of these that have basically the exact same changes to bring them in line with each other, so that there's just minor variations between them. And those minor variations, that is, what's the code, what's the key, what is the label alignment, because that sometimes changes between currencies, and what's the icon width and height. Most of them are 32 by 32, but a few of them are not, and so that allows us to customize it for each control. Actually, are they all 32 by 32 except for like one of them? Looks like Destiny points over here. Yeah, that one definitely is a smaller one. Oh, interesting. Oh, LOTRO points. I didn't actually put those on here, did I? Yeah, I did. Okay. So that one is bigger than normal, so we need to squish it back a little bit. Yeah, so just those two. But that allows us to have an override for those two. This is a different fix, so we're going to commit that separately. Fixed access to player attributes. Okay, so we have all of those changes that were sitting around. I wonder if source control will let me push now that the network connectivity is restored. Yes, it did. Beautiful. Okay, so we have a situation in which most of our currencies now are in control files that are functionally identical to each other. Again, that looks like this. Emerald Silver Piece compared with Ancient Script, the only thing different is the code and the key. Everything else is the same, or could be passed in to some sort of a function that does stuff. So the next goal that I have is to have a function that does the effect of one of these control files. So we're going to go ahead and make a new file called wallet control factory.lua. Factory being a thing that produces wallet controls. I should also spell factory correctly. Cool. So what we want to do is have a function and maybe some documentation. This function creates a wallet control based on some parameters. Sure. In fact, let's do an actual function block here. I appreciate the cat coming in from the rain, but I hope that doesn't mean they're wet.
I think she's in the house.
Function F. Okay. I don't think this is working quite right. Oh. Well, we'll go ahead and write the function block later. Okay, so make wallet control. So passing into this, we need a few things. Let's go ahead and bring Emerald Silver Piece over so we can see what we need. Code. We need key. For as long as those two things are different. We need label alignment. We need icon width. And we need icon height. Because those can be different for especially the two that we care about. Okay. And we are going to make a thing. Are we even going to bother returning? I don't think so. We're just going to add an entry. Okay, so let's see if we can get this. There we go. Okay, so we'll go ahead and hoist that comment into the function block comment. And then code. This is a string. The old short code. ASP. Key is also a string. The new internal code key, AG Amaroth Silver Piece. Label alignment. That's a good question. Can we specify this type? Let's say content alignment. The alignment of the label defaults to middle right. And in fact, we're going to go ahead and do that. Equals turbine UI middle right. Icon width equals 32. Icon height equals 32. At least we're going to try that. Can you not do default parameters in Lua? I really thought you could. If label alignment equals nil, then label alignment equals something else. End. Really? Alright. Integer. And we'll do the same thing with icon width and icon height. Icon width, then icon width equals, and we'll go ahead and do 32. And icon height Right. For some reason, I was thinking you could do default parameters in Lua, but I'm probably just thinking of C#. I usually do. Okay. And function. Well, function default parameters. Oh, right. There's a short way to write this at least. So label alignment equals label alignment or this. I do like that. It feels a little bit clearer. So icon width equals icon width or 32. And icon height equals icon height or 32. So we have some defaults there. Okay. So integer, the width of the icon defaults to 32. Integer, the height of the icon defaults to 32. There we go. So we now have our IntelliSense for this. We have some basic default parameters. We really need code or key. So if code does not, I think we'll count on people to do the right thing. Okay, so that is a start. So what goes on in one of these files? Create control. Well, first thing, we want to go ahead and make the entry in the global table. And from there, we want to go ahead and do each of these steps. I think I might break them out into functions, just make it a little bit cleaner. Make wallet control control. Let's see. Undefined. That's fine. Make wallet control icon. All that's icon stuff. Make wallet control label. That's all label stuff. And make wallet control move control function. So those are the basic steps that happen in 26 out of the 28, give or take, wallet controls. Do we have to break it out? Obviously not. We could just have one long function that does all this stuff, but maybe it's a little bit easier to consolidate them together. So, to break them apart into different functions like this. So we're going to go ahead and make each one of these. So function that thing end. And then we'll be able to pass the parameters that we care about into each of these. So function, really? And function, the next one, and function, the last one. Cool. In the control, we want to go ahead and pass in the table. So we're passing in G code into there, and that is going to be table. What else? Okay, TV win, that's TitanBar window, that's the parent, that's fine. Mouse visible, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we need the key for the settings. And everything else is good. So that's enough for the control. And we've added the table control into there. Cool. What's next? Everything dealing with table icon. Now, just to double check, I assume these are all kind of co-located here, but let's make sure we're not going to miss anything. We're not. Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and pull that, and we can see that comment ended perhaps a little bit early. Okay. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Okay, what are we missing? Table. We need the table again. Okay. So we're going to pass in that table here. What else do we need? We need icon width and icon height. We need the key. So we're going to go ahead and pass key, icon width, icon height. And we'll go ahead and pull those all in with that name. Okay, icon width, icon height. We have the key, table, the mouse leave, mouse move, dragging, table, mouse control, move control. We don't have that yet, but we will. Icon label, all that is great. Okay, so what's next? Anything that has to do with label. That's all of these. Okay, we can assume that we need the table and the key. What else? Label alignment. We need the label alignment. I think that storm brought in pollen or something, because now my eye is itchy. Okay, label alignment, great. What else are we missing? Code. We need the code. Do we need the code? We need it for now. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pass code on in. To the wrong function, apparently. There we go. Okay. What else? Drag start. Oof. Global variables here. I'm not happy with that. But that's the way it is. We're not worrying about that today. Okay, we have table, control, label. All that looks good. Okay, and then the final move control. We're going to go ahead and bring that in here. And of course, we're going to need a couple of things. For one thing, table. And then what? Table move control equals the function of that. Control, args. Yeah, not a lot. Okay, so we want to make sure we pass in the table. And it wouldn't hurt to make some function and comment blocks here in general, but let's go ahead and replace the Amroth silver piece inclusion with this wallet control factory instead. Let's have a proof of concept before we go much further. So what we want to do is figure out where is that happening. Amroth silver piece .lua. In fact, we want to not do that. We want to do the import. So import Amroth silver piece. No? No, of course, because we're importing based off of the key. Okay. So here's what we can do. Instead of worrying about the import, let's actually just replace Amroth silver piece with a call to wallet control factory. So we're going to go ahead and say global dot make wallet control equals make wallet control. Just hoist that into the global namespace for a moment, possibly longer. And that way in here, we can go ahead and say make wallet control. And that's going to be a couple of things. It's going to be ASP. In fact, actually, no. Let's make this after we declare all this. Because we want this to be code, key, label alignment. We want it to be icon width. And we want it to be icon height. Great. And the rest of this, we don't need. Maybe. Let's find out. So this is an Amaroth silver piece, so it's going to be where? Right here. I have got 34 of them. So we're going to go ahead and unload and then reload. Oh yeah, that didn't work. Attempt to call make wallet control a nil value. So let's go ahead and attempt to call out that that's in the global namespace. And give it a try again. Okay, attempt failed. What's going on here? Wallet control factory. We never imported that. We have no knowledge of what this is. Okay. Whenever you add a new file, do make sure to add it to your general imports. Where do we want this thing? We want it earlier than any tendency to use it. I would say, let's go ahead and import it. App.dir. Well, it's not even there. It is, it's in control. And that is wallet control factory. Yeah, the real question was, where did we see that import? That was FRM main and functions control. So functions control, FRM main. So we'll go, oh, load settings though. Let's go ahead and put it right before load settings. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and give it another try, see if it sees it. It does. Now we have 34 silver Amaroth pieces. Can we drag it around? We can. Okay. Amaroth silver pieces are pretty low down. Amaroth silver pieces. Let's go ahead and say it's in the tooltip instead. We see that there. Let's go ahead and turn it off, because we've seen differences in code between something that's been freshly added versus something that was there when we loaded. And we're going to come on in Amaroth silver piece on TitanBar right there, and we can still drag that around. That is lovely. Okay. So the next step is, now we could do a couple of things here. The temptation is to just run full steam ahead and start changing lots of code. But TitanBar is complicated, and as we've seen, it's really easy for bugs to sneak in. So the cautious thing, and the thing that I'm going to work on for the next couple of minutes, is every one of those files that we just committed a huge change set to consolidate their code, we are now going to replace their contents with this function call. And once we've done that and verified that they all still work reasonably well, we'll then look at, I don't know, I am tempted just to run ahead. The cautious part of me is like, oh, we shouldn't do that. But kind of tempting to just make a function or just call that function. The question is, each of those places we do the import, do we have what we need for that? So label alignment, icon width, and icon height. We just need some tables that specify the overrides, and then we can reference that table. Code and key are the important things. We have a key right here, and we can get the code from the key. Okay. What about here? We have the key right here. We can get the code from the key. And here, we have the key here. We can get the code from the key. Okay. Because we have source control and we can easily undo mistakes, I'm going to say, let's add a lookup table to wallet control factory where we can get the special values. And so that's going to be label alignment overrides equals a table. And what we want to do is have an entry by key for anything that's not middle right. And for that, we can just come on in to this commit right here. Okay, so middle right, middle right, middle right, middle right, middle right, middle right, middle center. There's the first one. So commendations equals, and then we can go ahead and do this. And so what we can actually do is have a label alignment equals label alignment overrides of key or middle right. So that's what we're going to transition to. Get rid of this and width and height. Okay. So what else? Destiny points. Now, are these alignments necessary or useful? I don't know, but they're there, and so I want to assume that they're there for a reason. Okay. So I want to support that happening. All right, LOTRO points. Now, like I said, LOTRO points might be a little special, but we'll add it in here for completion. Okay, medallions also. Seals. Oh, and shards. Great. So those are our exceptions. Those are the exceptions for alignment. Now we need, and I want to preface this so in the name so it's a little bit more obvious what's going on. Make wallet control, label alignment overrides. Cool. And then we want something like, icon width overrides equals, and we'll do the same thing for height. Icon height. Okay, so what's different about width and height? Actually fewer, so this is going to be easier. Oh, there's the first one. So that's destiny points. And that is a width of 21, and we know it's also a height of 22. Okay. Is it actually that? It's close enough to be visually right. I don't actually know if it's plus or minus a pixel there. 36. and 43. Okay, what else? I don't see any others. 32, yep, that's LOTRO points. There's Destiny points, and everything else was 32 by 32. Great. So, we want to do the same basic code here. Make wallet control icon width equals this thing, or 32, and height equals this thing, or 32. And if one wanted to be really kind of more generic, you could have a default value in here. So it's either the key or the same table default. I'm not worried about it right now, but that's something I think we could do. Okay, so tables for control overrides. Now, is this actually a good place for it? I have two minds for that. On the one hand, I feel like you could place that at the calling point of this function to make wallet control and have those places look up these values. But on the other hand, I feel like if you want to override these values, having a single place to do it right here, that's also fine. And so that's sort of a design refinement for a future time is this the right place for these override values? Because it could be somewhere else. But I'm happy to have this file kind of own those. And in that case, label alignment, icon width, and icon height, they're gone. And we have a local label alignment equals, local icon width equals, and local icon height equals. And for all of those, we just have, and then they can get rid of that. Awesome. And at that point, we have everything we need to create it. We have the code and the key. Now, one might ask, what's up with that code? And I think that's a good question to ask. Let's go to, I want to say it is settings, but somewhere there's a lookup table. What was the thing we were looking for? Quantity changed. That's what it is. I'm done looking at regexes for a while. All right, quantity changed. This was currency name to key. Okay, that's where we want to go. So in here, I feel like there should be a table somewhere. Yes, there we go. Code to key, and then key to code. If we have the key, then we can make the code. Therefore, I don't want to pass in the code. It's one too many things to do. So let's have local code equals key to code of key. At that point, we stop passing in code. We only pass in the key, and we are happy. Let's give that a try. Let's go into the game and see if we can just pass in Destiny points and get what we're looking for. That would be pretty neat. Unload and load. Error message. No, yes. Okay, wallet control factory, 29, table index is nil. Well, fair enough. We don't want that. 29, table entry, oh. G of code. Okay, so let's get some output here. Turbine.shell.writeLine making control for, and we'll go ahead and dump out key, and dump out code. Oh, of course, I didn't actually update this, so it passed in two things. And the first one was used, the second one was dropped, and that was the wrong thing. So let's actually make it work this time. Great. So we have our silver pieces here. They're still movable, and that's great. We can see the making control for emerald silver piece / ASP. Awesome. So we have in here eliminated the need for icon height, icon width, label alignment. Oops. We've eliminated table. We don't actually need this either because that's going to happen. And we don't need the code. So at that point, we kind of don't need that variable. Perfect. Now let's see if that works, having deleted all of that. All right, we have an emerald silver piece in the toolbar. We're going to go ahead and do a test here. We're going to put it into the tooltip. Perfect. Emerald silver piece, we're going to go ahead and say don't show. Awesome. We're going to unload, bring it back in. And come back in, emerald silver piece on TitanBar, and we can still drag it around. That's really promising because that means creating a control that follows the rules, the generic control, like most of them, all but wallet and LOTRO points and money, are just these basic controls, and that is a single function call, make wallet control. Now, the current feature of importing means that you're guaranteed to, under the constraints of Lua, to only process this file once. You know make wallet control is only going to be called once because the Lua import system is going to take care to not process this file more than once. So you can import it as many times as you want with no problems. We do not have that reentrancy ability here in the make wallet control function. And we could do that. What we could do is we could check to see is G code already existing. If G of code, then return. End. Make sure to not make this control more than once. We haven't made the control yet. Proceed. Okay. So put those together. That's kind of what we needed. Now, icon width, icon height, we don't actually need to pass those on. Again, we can do the same thing. That place that needs icon width, icon height, let's go ahead and locally get those instead of passing them in. And that means we don't need to do that here. Same thing with label alignment. Label alignment is done off of the key in the label function, which makes sense. So at that point, we do not need to pass it as a parameter. We can just look it up based off of key. And at that point, we don't need to pass it. At that point, we don't need to create it. And again, I really love, well, deleting code, but if it's possible, not writing it in the first place. Okay, so we have the key. Where do we need code for? We need it for making that table. And function make wallet control G entry. And for that, we're just going to take the key. Okay. This is going to be local code equals that. Oh, we want to check. Okay, let's just make a function. Make wallet control, is control, does it exist? Is control already created? Key. Okay. And to do that, we look up the code and we say this. Now, the classic way to write this in a way that irritates me is return true, else return false, end. So if the value of this is true, then return true, otherwise return false, which is the value of this. But the value of this is really kind of nil. So what we really want is local already created equals g of code is not equal to nil. Return is already created. And that annoys me a lot less. This value itself is either a reference or nil. If it is not nil, we want true. If it is nil, we want false. We want to convert it into a binary value. Okay, so if not is already created, then return end. Now, that's a double negative there. How do we feel about that? If control already created, if it's not already created, we could say if make while control is control not created. But if it not is or is not, I don't know. It's a small enough thing. I'm not worried about it. Okay. So, and then we want a function to make the control. So, gcode equals a table. Return gcode. Cool. So, local table equals that with the key. What happens if we then pass that as the parameter for each of these functions? At that point, we don't need that entry. And if we don't need that entry, what do we need code for? Oh, label wants it. All right. Let's have label make it. Code equals currency of that. Great. And then we don't need code here. My goal eventually is that code and key become the same thing. These three-letter acronyms for the code, I don't like it. I want to get rid of them. And so I'm trying to eliminate the need for code to be exposed in this interface here. If you've got the key, that's all this function needs. And under the covers, yes, it's still using code, but eventually we would change that to local code equals key, and then eventually all those code variables just become key variables, and then it's done. But one step at a time, I hope. Okay, so we want to go ahead and make sure that just works. It didn't work. Why didn't it work? Let's go take a look. Functions control. Did something wrong there. It's CTR anyway. I hope it's control. Okay, G value control attended index field nil. Okay, fair enough. Did something wrong in that refactoring there. Should have committed what I had. It was perfectly good, and then I've gone and done something wrong. Okay, so table equals that. Make control G entry, local code equals that, G of code equals that, return G code. I have a feeling that indirectness is causing problems. But you know what? We don't actually have a problem. Do we? All right. I regret having made all these changes without committing things. So we're going to go ahead and undo a few of them. Specifically, the attempt to remove code from make wallet control. That was one step too many, perhaps, right now. So we're gonna come back to that. Okay, let's check and see if that was enough. Perfect. We've got our silver things of Amroth silver pieces. There we go. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pause there and actually commit changes that are better. So we have the wallet control factory. Added factory function for creating general wallet controls. That is this. And we need to include it. Import it. Awesome. Emerald silver piece, we don't actually need to commit that yet. Okay. So we have a reentrancy check. So we might be able to start looking at that import import control. Okay, so we want import control, and then is this import control? This is import control. So in import control, we want to go ahead and have a sense of doing this for a few things. And you know what? Wallet control, where is this? That's in TitanBar functions. This is in TitanBar control. It doesn't need to be there. It's going to cause me namespace issues is my concern. I was thinking about a lookup table for is generic wallet control so that we know. But you know what? I think it's fine for. Okay, so this is import. This is import control. This is import control. For main. That's in for main. That's fine. Okay, so in here, I think we want to say if key equals. Now I want to make a local table. Local non-generic wallet control equals. And we want to go ahead and say that this is the 3 that we can't reduce. And we can bring that back to our list, I think. Okay, so that was LOTRO points, anything with a window, basically. Actually, we have a has window function. Is it true? It's LOTRO points, it is wallet, and it's money. LOTRO points, money, wallet. Okay. Let's go ahead and if has window of key, then else end. We're assuming for now that any wallet control that is not generic has a custom window. If that stops being true, add another table to track non-generic currency tokens. So else we call make wallet control. Make wallet control of key. Is that it? Have we just eliminated 26 files? I don't know, but those are all there. Let's go ahead and move Amaranth silver pieces into the tooltip, and let's move the next thing as well, which was in that file listing, ancient script. Perfect. Ancient script. So let's put that in the tooltip as well. We've got those two things, and we'll go ahead and move one more thing. Pulsar quartz? Shards. Okay. We're going to move shards off. They look like pulsar quartzes from Planet Crafter. Okay. We're going to go ahead and put shards back on. There they are. These are your shards. Don't know what they are, but I've got 17,000 of them. I am a little curious. Hang on. Shard. Huh. They're from a thing that's never existed on Treebeard. Well, I should say, the Legendary Item System 1, the wood chipper model, existed on Treebeard, but we never had access to it because we didn't have access to Moria until after they replaced it with Legendary Item Part 2. Yeah, Reg in chat says outdated. It is outdated, but the curious thing is I've got 17,000 of them on a server that never had them. Updated from receiving a relic and refined tab, that never exists. We never had that on this server. I shouldn't say never. It's actually still here. If you go to Legend Item Windows, like this window exists, but we never had that system on Treebeard. It was always the new system with the traceries instead of the legacies. So why do I have 17,000 of these? Do I? I guess we should double check. Shard. Yes, I got obsidian rock shards. I don't actually know what that is. Okay. Is that might actually be from the Rift. That's fine. And I have 17,000 shards. This can be used at Relic Masters. That's so weird. Reg says, did you start new? Affodil was new on Treebeard, and while Legendary Item 1 system did exist on Treebeard, not when we had access to it. We were just doing Shadows of Angmar, and by the time Treebeard went up to Moria, the Legendary Item 1 system had been replaced with 2. Now, under the covers, I'm sure there's still some little bits here and there, so I guess I'm not surprised to see it. Just 17,000 of them seems like a lot. Yeah. Oh. Well, they look pretty. I don't know if you could make them into housing items someday. Like, make a strand of them. Okay, cool. So, if this is correct, and I don't want to say that it is, but if it is correct, we should be able to go into Amaranth Silver Pieces, Ancient Script. We should just be able to start deleting files. Ancient Script, Ancient Token, Badge of Dishonor, Taste, all of that. Medallions, all the way on down to money, and then seals down to wallet, and Yule Token. And we can get rid of modes of enchantment now, too, which is causing us problems. Let's see what happens. Didn't work. Didn't work. All right, Destiny points. Unable to resolve package. I feel like I don't know why you're looking for it, but let's find out. Functions control, line 37. Oh, what on earth? Okay, we still have stuff and things. Wallet, money, Destiny points, LOTRO points. That's strange. Currency specific code. Money. I don't feel like that's currency specific, but... Oh, I think it was because Destiny Point, the way to get it is different than everything else. So import. Okay, we don't actually need this anymore. And we do need that, but we don't need it here. We can put it there. Okay, so import and then control set position. We have left and we have top, yep. If where is not 3, then update currency. Okay. That's interesting. Okay. We need to place this somewhere else. We need to pay attention to destiny points changed. Need to add callback for destiny points changing. Is that actually a thing? Player attributes is what I actually want. What was that? That was player get attributes. Okay. Get attributes. Great. That returns a type of, oh, just attributes. I was looking for player attributes. Cool. Attributes members. Just whatever. Dwarf, elf, free peoples, high elf, hobbit, man, monster, class attributes. Get Destiny is here. Well, that's fascinating. I'm curious if that actually does things, but we're gonna assume yes. So we need to hoist up this add callback, but without that being in the way. If that is not equal to 3, then update currency destiny points. That's all fine, and I think that means we can go ahead and put that callback somewhere more useful to be set up. Okay, so where was that being called? We were looking at quantity change, and that's in here. So let's go ahead and in the load player wallet. Destiny is tracked differently. Maybe this is not a terrible place for it. So if player currency handler of destiny points changed, oh no. Destiny points equals nil, then we'll go ahead and add that here. Lord Zach has arrived. Hello, Lord Zach. So, if that is a nil, then we go ahead and get our player attributes, and we go ahead and assign to this entry equals add callback. And in this, we have the object, the function name, and the anonymous function, which we'll call update currency end. Cool. And in update currency, we'll update the label, blah, blah, blah. Sounds good. Let's see if that is sufficient for us to be able to get rid of this other thing. So, destiny points. Again, if the where equals 1, then we were importing and setting position. That's all being taken care of. And if it's 3, we were doing a bunch of things. Well, we were setting up that callback. And that concerns me because that probably means we were trying to register multiple callbacks for it, but it doesn't really matter. And otherwise, we want to remove that callback. I don't think I'm comfortable just adding the callback once and being done with it. So I think we can successfully just get rid of that, and we'll just have to level up a character at some point to test whether destiny tracking works. Okay, testing. Make sure destiny tracking works. Oh, actually we can just spend it. That's fine. Okay, so we just deleted that, so we have wallet, money, LOTRO points, and else. Oh. Block above wallet, money, LOTRO points. If that stops being, yeah, okay. If that stops being true, no. Nope, just any wallet control. Any wallet control that is not generic, must have a custom block above. Okay, so we do not actually need that at all. We can just make the wallet control. And is that it? Have we deleted enough code that TitanBar works? Maybe. All right, let's go. Whoopsie. Let's go spend some destiny points. Let's walk faster. Sure. That costs 50 destiny points. That we should see this go down to 207,750. We do. Fantastic. Good enough. Awesome. So, notice that we have a completely functioning wallet system, we think. I guess I should go spend something else just to be sure. What can we do here? All right, I'm going to get some more Figments of Splendor from this red stuff, Embers of Enchantment. Yep, that also works. I feel like I should spend some of these Figments of Splendor. Cosmetic Pets. I have them all. Bounce. I have them all. When's Myrtle Mint get replaced anyway? Alright, we'll just leave that for right now. Worst case, I'll get a Cosmetic Pet for an alt. At least I think those are... Yeah, those are account-wide. Okay, so we have deleted every control file for wallet stuff that is not related to LOTRO points, money, or the wallet control itself. LOTRO points, it might be possible to consolidate some of LOTRO points in as well, but... Oh, that's a question. What I haven't done is left us a good guide of how do you know if your stuff is generic, and if it's not generic, what do you need to change? Like, LOTRO points might be able to use a lot of this basic functionality, and oh, that's a concern. Okay, I'm going to come back into source control here, and I'm going to undo the deletion of Amaroth's silver piece. And do a quick comparison. What's up with LOTRO points, anyway? It's almost identical. There's a couple things. So the label mouse click is different. What was going on with those controls that had different sizes? Destiny, for instance. I feel like table icon must be affected somewhere else. What's up with that? Yeah. What is going on here? No, that's not actually fair because those are a lot of things that we haven't changed yet. Okay, adjust icon. So in adjust icon, we are doing the thing. It really makes me wonder why we're also doing the thing here. What happens if we don't do the thing? And that is LOTRO points. So we're going to go ahead and reload this. Yeah, it looks identical. That's fascinating. So the only thing that LOTRO points does special is it has a handler for mouse click for the case of not a drag. And that could be something we pass in as a custom parameters, like a table object that we could just pass in, and that gets passed to each of the creation functions, and mouse click, a label mouse click just knows what to do with that. It just knows to call that function that's in there that was supplied. And if that's the case, this whole LOTRO points window is also not necessary. Am I saving the changes? I don't know about that. Yeah, I am. Okay, so what else is going on here? That's LOTRO points. LOTRO points is very doable. Money, probably not. There's a lot of stuff here, and that's fine. And wallet itself, almost certainly not. Yeah. So what we want to say is generic currency sample. A little one, little one. Don't drink from my water, please. Have you been outside? It's raining out there.
Yes.
Weirdo. Okay. EGASB. EG one silver piece. Rich says it's raining in Denver. Nice. Denver doesn't get enough water. Okay, so this is how currency controls used to be done. One file per control. This is now handled in wallet control factory. Okay, so I want to keep that around for now for easy comparison against the 3 remaining controls, because LOTRO points almost there. I'm not sure it's even worth trying to shoehorn it in, because we also have money and wallet as exceptions, and those definitely can't be shoehorned in. But knowing whether or not you can be shoehorned in or not kind of depends on knowing how you differentiate from the historical thing. So we'll go ahead and leave that. So let's go back to the maintenance file. Add currency file in control directory. Copy an existing currency file. No. Change the name of the file to the name of the new currency as defined in the localization file. First abbreviation, no spaces between words. No. Replace everything which is connected to the old currency, abbreviation, name, comments, with the new one. I use the replace all function Notepad++, which is probably why we saw that bug creep in. No. Okay. I reject your reality. Okay, there is no more creation of currency controls for generic currencies. If you need to do something special, you can do that. Add custom currency stuff to... So where were we? Not the wallet control factory. Import control. Functions control import control. If your currency needs to do something special, extra windows, extra information, controls, / information, etc., then do that here. Example, money, LOTRO points, wallet. Note, if you are just showing the amount of your currency, you do not need to do this. Okay, cool. Well, Zach asks Reg, is it good or bad that it's raining in Denver? To which Little Redhead replies, little rain in Denver, good. Lots, bad. Yeah, flooding's not great. But as long as the water distribution works. Okay. So this section is basically done. We still allow for custom stuff to be done, but if you're just a normal currency, not necessary. And that opens up some really interesting things. So we're getting really close to being able to add arbitrary wallet currencies. Okay, so add currency in TB resources, add the image of the currency. Okay. For each point after the search through, and every time the currency is listed, add the currencies. Sure. Let's... Well, I'll tell you what. We've hit 10 o'clock here, and I think this might actually be a good breaking point. There's still some stuff to do before we can just allow arbitrary currency creation, but we're getting really close to all the currencies just being handled in a more parameterized way, and less of this make a new file for every currency historical structure. So, as we head towards the wrapping up this stream, if you have any last minute questions, comments, concerns, now's a great start. Now's a great time to start typing those into chat, so we get a chance to look at them. But in the meantime, what have we done today? We have, actually, yeah, I'll work on committing this right now. Removed old wallet control files for all generic currencies. Amaranth silver pieces, ancient script, anniversary token, badge of dishonor, badge of taste, big oboe, central Gondor silver pieces combination, destiny points, embers of enchantment, fall festival tokens, farmers fair tokens, figments of splendor, generic currency. It does see that that was a rename of a different file. That's fine. Gift givers brands, Haybuilt token, medallions, midsummer tokens, mythor coins, seals, shards, skirmish marks. Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll do this as two separate ones, because I do want to emphasize that Amaranth is deleted. Springleaf, Stars of Merit, Yield Token, Motes of Enchantment, which kills the problem that the Motes of Enchantment file was causing us, I hope. Actually, I didn't actually test that. Let's go ahead and get that in here. Motes of Enchantment on TitanBar. Hey, it just works. That's neat. Okay. And in functions control, in order to make that happen, we needed to delete the destiny points section. We needed to change the import. Instead of trying to import it, we just call make wallet control. And down here, we go ahead and we just add a handler for the destiny points changed callback function. Perfect. TitanBar maintenance, we've updated that. And in a to-do, make sure destiny tracking works. I actually did that. And that. Awesome. Removed old wallet control files for all generic currencies. That's lovely. Now, the fun thing about being a plugin developer in this ecosystem is that it is difficult to delete files out of people's plugin directories, and that's probably a good thing in general. But if someone updates their TitanBar with this with this file, extracts this on top of their existing installation instead of starting from scratch, then they'll still have all of those old files because we can't delete them. We can only change existing files or add new ones. But if we delete them locally, nothing happens to them in their location. And that's fine. It doesn't hurt anything. We're not trying to import them. They'll just be vestigial at that point. So just something to think about. Try not to make too many files that you plan on deleting later and then distribute it out to people, because they will be kind of stuck with those files until they do a fresh install of your plugin. And I would guess a lot of users just wouldn't think to do that. I certainly wouldn't. Anyway, so removed old wallet controls. Done. Added sample control file for reference. Cool. Whew. Okay, that was a big one. Removing all of the backing files for these in favor of a single function that can create what we need using just our internal key and some lookup tables is such a large step towards making TitanBar able to do arbitrary currencies. And not just arbitrary currencies, but allowing the user to specify what currencies show up on that. If you never do festivals, you probably don't want these tokens. If you don't care about central Gondor silver pieces, I'd love to be able to turn that off. And so what we're really leading up towards is a configuration screen in TitanBar that maybe it's even this window, but where these things have a checkbox next to them, where we can say yes, no. I do not want that. I'm just moving stuff so they're no longer on top of the radar, because then it can cover them. There we go. Okay, so that's where we're rapidly going towards, is I want an add box where people can add stuff in. I want them to be able to delete stuff from this list, or at least hide it in some fashion. And yeah, that's really where we are. I want to have a lookup, like an internal lookup table of the image IDs of all the common wallet stuff. And then beyond that, if it's in your wallet, I just want to get the ID from there. And then if you add something that's not in your wallet, we won't know what image to have for it. So we'll need a generic image of some kind, maybe a question mark. And as soon as you have it in your wallet, we can. Oh, if you don't have it in your wallet, oh, that's an interesting question, because then the change handler might not exist. You might be able to keep an eye out for it in a chat window, maybe, or just, once you have it and you read the TitanBar, it would just work. That's an interesting question. That might be why, when you spend down to 0, that TitanBar doesn't react well. This is a known issue, or at least it was a known issue. Haven't tested it recently. But if you spend down to 0, it might be that the thing disappears from your wallet, and therefore you don't get a handler on it. But I would have thought you'd get at least one last callback saying, oh, no, TitanBar has bad logic there, because we do get a callback handler, but TitanBar goes and tries to recheck your wallet for the item, and it won't be in there. That's why it does that, I think. Haven't tested it, but makes sense in my mind. Spend down to 0 issue, because TitanBar ignores the past value in favor of re-looking in the wallet. It probably is not finding it, and therefore doing nothing instead of counting that as 0. Agartha says, yeah, that was the issue. It disappears from the wallet list, affects the rich and other plugins. Well, specifically, TitanBar, and maybe it has to do this. I haven't checked, but TitanBar in the quantity change handler. Nope. Oh, that's so weird. In the quantity change handler, it calls a function called update currency, and update currency calls get currency, and get currency looks in the wallet for the currency in order to know how much, instead of possibly looking at the argument for quantity changed. I would hope that argument includes what the quantity has gone to. I agree. I haven't actually looked at that. Might actually do that. Turbine.shell.writeline quantity changed. And this is actually going to be for cur name. Dump it out just in case there's a problem. Dot quantity changed. And then we'll go ahead and dump out args. Let's see if I wrote any typos there. So is there an easy thing I can do for a currency change right now? Well, I could go spend something. Riddlement, do you still have nothing that I want? Probably. Pets. Are these things bound? Bound to account? That's fine. What's the cheapest pet I can get from you? 2,000? Tumble Flying Fox. Sounds great. Okay, so we'll barter that. Oh, skill's already trained. I'd have to switch to another character. Got anything really cheap? Tell you what. It would have to be in this list because I changed it so we weren't adding handlers for everything. What about money itself? Cool. I need a bank. Actually, hang on. There's vendors in here. I can just buy something. It's entirely possible that money has a different handler, though, so I'm prepared for this to not work. Hey, Vaultkeeper. Browse the shop. I would like to buy one of your finest bags of gold coins. Great. Well, that did not work. I would like to get rid of one of your bags, finest bags of gold coins. Okay, so if we assume that it's going to be one of the other ones. Ancient script. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. Cool. I keep thinking my travel window bar is up there. Rivendell. Really? Word horde. Nope. Cool. Kinship member's house. Far-ranging stable master there. Okay, so we'll go spend some ancient script and see what we get out of that. I guess if we're going to do that, let's double check. We've saved this. Quantity changed on the currency. Cool. Okay. So we'll go ahead and do a reload of TitanBar. Wow, it is tough to find a place to click on there. Okay, so we're going to go to Rivendell. And if one's very lazy, we can then take the Stable Master over to the last homely house. Well, lazy is the wrong word. If one does not want to run over there for whatever reason. Thanks to them fixing the glitch on Treebeard where we were getting level 140 experience for completing level 85 delvings, we no longer can max out the legendary item reward track in a couple of days, which is, sad for those of us who liked doing such things. But it also means I don't have nearly as many legendary item enhancement runes, for instance, as I used to. So, I don't mind going and buying a couple of them here in the Word Horde. Okay, please give me one of your finest enhancement runes. Okay, so we want enhancement rune 86. Okay, so we can see that the quantity changed gave us args. And you know what? I'll do sender as well. Sender. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and reload TitanBar. And we can see we're getting a something or another. But the thing that we're getting has a quantity changed function. And that means it is probably a... wrong place. A wallet item. Wallet item has a quantity change, which means we can probably call get quantity on it. So sender get quantity. So we're going to go ahead and reload TitanBar. And in fact, we already know args is not doing anything, so we'll just get rid of that. Okay, and we can see we got get quantity returned 7710, which is the new quantity. So, I think... So, local new quantity equals sender get quantity. So, what I think we should do is update currency. Possible fix. update currency should take an optional quantity parameter. If present, use it. Now, is that actually going to solve the problem? How many update currency calls do we have? We have the actual place that calls it. Update currency happens when we import the control, in which case we don't know what it is. It happens when we load the wallet. No, it happens in this callback function here, so we should do that. And it happens for destiny points. Does update currency have a separate section for destiny points? Get currency has a destiny points and LOTRO points and everything else. So if we had a local quantity equals, so if update currency took a quantity, oops, and that's a quantity integer, the new quantity, if known, otherwise we'll call get currency. Okay, so quantity equals quantity or get currency of key, and quantity is going to be used for get currency, and that means anywhere that's calling update currency could go ahead and use that quantity if they've got it, and bam. Okay, I think that actually fixes the spend down problem. If you are notified of a currency and get quantity actually returns that quantity, then we can pass on to update currency. Update currency can use it instead of re-looking in your wallet. And then if you spent down to 0, that new quantity hopefully shows up as 0. The real question is, if you spend down to 0, do you not get a callback at all? But I'm hoping you get a callback and then the item's removed from your wallet. So as soon as you go to look in your wallet for that item, it's not there. I'm hoping that's the thing. If you actually don't get a callback at all on items that go down to 0, then we have a different trouble. The trick will be finding a currency to spend down to 0. So I think that might be a next festival or something, maybe. Do I have any Hobnanigans tokens? Those don't go in the wallet. The next one is Farmer's Fair? What's the next one? Midsummer. I'm hearing in from Rose. Okay. Midsummer. I have 104 of those. Challenge accepted. To test. In Midsummer Festival, spend down tokens to 0. Make sure we see that final change. Okay, so we have a possible fix here that we just did kind of a free form. That is to accept an optional quantity. If we don't have it, still call get currency. If we do have it, use it. And that actually will improve performance slightly, I would think. Every time your currencies change that you're tracking, because we're no longer tracking every currency in your wallet, for one thing. But for another, those things that we are tracking, we're going to go ahead and just accept that quantity instead of re-looking through your wallet at every item until we find it. And for some of us, we have a lot of items in our wallet. Mostly fish or other trophies. Like festivals and events, sure. Landscape, sure. Taxidermy, a lot. And instances and skirmishes. So many unhatched spider eggs. I'm like, gorge, that's what that is. Okay. Cool. So we've got that. we're going to make use of it, and we got some ideas. So we'll relook at that later. So we have a path forward for that bug, which has been kind of bugging for a while. And since it's currency adjacent, maybe we can slip it into this particular thing. Okay, so that's where we're going to leave it. We have proceeded to the point where we were able to delete every single generic currency wallet control file. And we're going to keep on removing currency-specific code from TitanBar until adding a new currency is literally as simple as choosing it from your wallet, from a list of things from your wallet, and saying, I want to track this thing. That's the goal. That's the dream. And if we provide a search box, I actually wouldn't mind just maybe, I don't know how people feel about this, but this pre-selected list, if this was just everything in your wallet and there was a search box and you could just search for, ancient script and then click add, do we need a pre-curated list of things, or do we just let you add stuff from your wallet? Admittedly, it would require you to have it in your wallet to begin with, but maybe I'm okay with that. A question that occurs to me that maybe I need to answer later is, can you know when a new currency enters your wallet? If you had nothing in there, does the wallet provide you a way to know items added and items removed? Oh my goodness. It does. We should pay attention to those if we're not already. TitanBar thoughts. Question: are we paying attention to these wallet callbacks? If not, why not? Cool. That could also be useful if we do not get notified that something drops to 0, but we do get notified that it was removed from your wallet. That sure seems useful too. Midsummer is going to be really useful for testing that because it'll be very easy to go from 0 to not 0 over and over and over. So very good that SSG was kind enough to provide me with a festival so soon. Thanks, SSG. Okay, awesome. A lot of progress today. Thank you so much for tolerating this disconnect that we had where our internet just decided to quit. That was weird. All right. Nothing else new in chat. And with that, we are going to call it a great stream. That's all we're going to cover today. Thank you so much for joining me on this exploration of LOTRO plugins. I do hope to see you here next week. And until then, keep plugging along. All right. Bye-bye now.